That's not what we wanted. Launch the streamer and plug him in my microphone. I actually don't want to be here. So I've moved on a little bit. I carried on with the as you can see, I've got my almost my full lunar armor. I think I'm missing the gloves. So a couple of hundred things. Just get comfortable here. I think we have to go to. Oh, I haven't even actually taken this quest yet. Radzatan. Just checking my stream quality. My stream quality. I'm just checking some stuff before I actually log in. Start seriously streaming. So we need to go to the. I can't remember what the tavern's called, but oh no, we don't. Hang on. Is it the Crucible we need to go to? Yeah. So I haven't streamed in a little bit because I've been a little bit ill and other stuff's been happening. I haven't really been active on anything. I haven't even played that many games. I've just been doing the quests for Aglia and all that. I'm not sure this is the right way, but oh, apparently it is. All right. You can probably tell I'm ill because I've still got a phlegmy voice. I hope you enjoyed the expedition at least. Otherwise, it was a heavy purse to pay for a treasure map leading to a treasure we couldn't keep. Very true. There's no potatoes. Carrot pudding. Shall we begin? If we had to spend the treasure really wisely, then we must first determine which groups would benefit from most from monetary assistance. Some of my citizens might find it intimidating to speak with the satrap directly, so I would ask that you act in my stead. Chaka, you're to visit Akyali and Yedlimad, speak with Matsuya and his people, and listen to their grievances. Estinian, I bid you do the same at Palaka's stand. I will be conducting my own inquiries at the Giant's Gold grounds. Once you believe you have ascertained the need of the populace, we can reconvene at the Maguta. I think off stream I'm going to go around and collect all of the Aether currents because it's starting to get a bit annoying doing this. Oh, should probably put the music on. Like, why don't we just northeast? Let's have a bit of a eighth current search. In a mount that's a bit faster, perhaps. I remember now. Alright, so I think we got all of these ones. We just need the ones closer to here. If I remember rightly. Yeah, southeast. Oh, fuck. Up to the east. Flat east. Oh, there is. Can I just walk up there? Or is this a jumping puzzly bit? No. At least we'll have the 8th current synth heaven now this way. You're going to get attacked by some stuff, but we can just run away. So there's 4 more here. Oh, there is. Just kill this thing. Go away, Asvata. Alright. What's to the north? Oh, there is. Oh. 2 more. What's this? Vodka. Go away, we don't want you. Hey, there we go. That's what we want. Southeast, so it's this way. This should be the last one, and then we'll be able to fly. Well, in this zone, at least. Need to do Garlemald as well at some point. As you probably might have noticed, I don't know if you can hear the music, but I turned off mount music because it was driving me mental. There it is. I see it. Nearly missed it. There we go. And now we can fly into there. Just gonna fly around and get rid of these little zones. Oh, what's up here? Huh. We just have to cross the whole map. Which isn't a bad thing because it's a beautiful sight. Very nice zone. Oh, that's the Tower of Zot one. Nanaman Dapper. This is strange. But at least we've mapped all of that near, and we've got the free bird achievement, so it means we can fly. Which dungeon is this? Is this oh, it's Aldazan's Legacy. Alright. Oh, Chakra, I was so glad to see you'd returned unharmed. You finished with the boat then? Anything the village desperately needs? Well, I suppose Kazal's loss hit us the hardest. I've been trying to find buyers for my fish. but although I sell a few here and there, it's so much more difficult than it was before. Everyone's still struggling to rebuild their lives. For now, we're banding together as best we can. I'm just going to teleport back. Only 100 gil. We can afford that. Greetings and welcome, traveller. If this is your first visit to Favnir, then you must try my special Amralassi. Its refreshing zest cannot be beat. What could such a wonder cost you? What could such a wonder cost, you wonder? Normally, I'd part with 3 bottles for the generous price of 19,800 gil, but for you, I'm willing to go as low as an even 10,000. You'd be practically stealing from me. I am not Estinian. Estinian? Who is this? Yeah, you're the one who was with that spear-toting fellow. Well, you can hardly blame a man for trying. The wall may no longer be on fire, but we are still sifting through the ashes, so to speak. Sisters, spare me. We might as well have that ugly tower back for the scant few travellers we see these days. I myself barely make the coin to buy at local prices. I tell you, if I didn't charge for the odd rent for a small fortune for our afternoon tea, I'd be scavenging for scraps in the street. Times are lean, my friend. Are you sure you wouldn't care for slightly overpriced lassie? It's yogurt, so. Guild staff. How fares the port? Well, it's in shambles, isn't it? The trade routes are open once more now that the danger has passed, certainly. But no small number of merchants have had to sell their ships to make ends meet in the short term. Add to that the sailors we lost during the final days, and it's little wonder that the flow of exports is no more than a pitiful trickle. If Kazal and his consortium were still with us, I'm sure he'd have found a way to turn our fortunes around. Now that was a man who got things done, God rest his soul. You've spoken with local figures and gained an understanding of the polis's hardships. Rashan waits for you at the Megaduta. I think the Megaduta is the inn at Razatan, if memory serves. I probably shouldn't have done that. Should have launched Spotify's update. No, the Megaduta is the palace. Right. So. It would seem my stint on Vitra's back did not go unnoticed. I couldn't take 2 steps before another Hanish local was thanking me profusely for saving their home. Ah, my advisor's return. I've just made it back myself. Why do you retain this vessel now that your true form is known? You could have flown across the island in a fraction of the time. Be that as it may, the sight of a massive creature descending from the sky can be startling to say the least. And there are a few places I can enter comfortably without risk of flattening some cart or stall. Fair enough. For my inquiries, the people of Paladistan were unanimous in their reply. They are surviving. Resources were stretched to the limit when refugees were pouring in, but they persevered with some assistance from Yedlimad. From what I understood, they have been an independent community, hunters and foragers and the like. They've always been an independent community, hunters and foragers and the like. And I was assured the jungle provides for their needs for the most part. Palikistan has weathered the disaster better than most, it seems. I myself heard good news and bad. The quarrymen were cautiously optimistic, having sold a full wagon of giant's gold to a foreign trader. But such visitors have been few and far between. Compared to our best years, the weight of stone leaving Thevenir has been light indeed. Our nation is small and isolated, its prosperity dependent on a steady stream of exports. We must identify any obstacles to the flow of trade, so we may begin working to remove them. Tell me, what did you learn in Akiali and Yedlimad? I know that shit's fucked. I see. Without a dedicated buyer, the average fisherman must struggle to offload his daily catch. Which is why I believe we should first address the lack of ships and shortage of able-bodied sailors in Yedlimad. I am reminded of a child I spied as I made my way back to the palace. His father lost at sea when the beast sunk his vessel. So many variations of the same tragic tale. Repeated over and over. So many lives lost. Enough grief to drown in if we let ourselves be overcome. But we will not. Chaka, Estinian, I will consider the perspectives you've brought me and devise a plan to help my people confront this adversity. Come, I would like you to be in attendance when I announce the proposal to my assembled functionaries. I thank you for your attendance. The riches Radiant hosts have retrieved were hoarded in Alzadar's name, a fortune I set aside for the future day of need. Lo, the day have come. May it aid our wounded city in reclaiming its brilliance and brilliancy and vigour. But at times I would leave such a task to our capable Ahewan, God's rest his soul. Finding myself bereft of his court counsel in the here and now, I will assume the responsibilities of mine office directly. Firstly, the treasure shall be sold for more convenient currency, thence invested into the trading ports of Yedlamad. Our merchants must have their operations restored, their ships rebuilt, commerce must flow once more. None was spared the tragedy of the final days, of this I am well aware. But an absence was created by the loss of Khazal's consortium, and by filling it, we provide new means for our fishermen, our artisans, and others to bring their wares to distant markets. And what of the children who were left without family to care for? For them, even. That is a concern which weigheth heavily on my mind. A simple gift of coin will soon be exhausted, leaving these young souls adrift on the fringes of our society. Nay, a proper solution is needed, one which doth guarantee their welfare for years to come. Thou hast surely seen how other nations rise to meet this challenge, adventurer. What dost thou deem the wisest course? Edelsveer's orphanage was funded through trade in highly coveted goods. I know, I personally supplied most of them. Of course, we can draw on trading profits to build a new institution. Let's put this idea into practice. A contract shall be written, requiring all who receive of Alderan's treasure to commit a portion of their future earnings towards the running of an orphanage. Now, such an influential policy is deserving of a worthy name. Something with Khazal seems appropriate. Why not under one of your most successful merchants? even. Ah, a fitting candidate. Ghazal should be remembered not as the blasphemy which terrorized Thevnir, but as a hardworking and generous man who brought much wealth to our shores. Do any among you object to this proposition? Many here lost loved ones to the beasts. In that time of strife, any of us would have broken. Any one of us may have been taken by despair. When I think of Ghazal, I feel no hatred, only a stinging regret that we could not save him as well. Isn't that right, men? This bodes well for that boy, Murad, was it? Perhaps he cut ties with that shady peddler. Let it be done. Henceforth, this initiative shall be known as the Ghazal Foundation. Nabadine, thou art to assemble a patrol and ensure no child in this city liveth in squalor. Clerks, see to the management of funds and make haste. Our citizens must not suffer a day more than is necessary. Dragon and man, side by side in pursuit of a brighter tomorrow. I am reminded of Ishgard. Go for the piety one. I'll probably give it to Tandril, but you know, Psychon compots. Psychon is boiled in sugar water to create this sweet, bite-sized treat. Vitra is warming to his role as satrap. Clearly, all those years behind the curtain were not spent napping. Thank you for putting forth Ghazal's name. Those whose lives he enriched will take comfort in seeing his legacy honoured. You will forgive me for not speaking sooner, but I bear a message from Archon Yashola. She asked me to meet you to meet her at the High Crucible at your earliest convenience. Understood. Thank you. Yashola must have finished her study of the Void Gate. Shall we hear what she has to say then? I'll go with you. I thought the satrap would be too busy setting up the foundation. My clerks have been the well-oiled cogs of this administration since before Ahawan assumed the office. They understand what needs to be done, and I'm curious to learn what conclusions your Archon has reached concerning the gate's unique construction. As you wish. Allow me to lead the way, Your Excellency. Where's the oh, it's down here. I think the High Crucible's where we teleported earlier. The High Crucible. How do we get out of here? Oh, over here. Right, here we all are. Have you discovered something new? I took a closer look at that device. I was able to determine how it keeps the void gates sealed, but not how it might instead be employed to expand the opening. For that, I would need to reference the techniques developed by Vitro's alchemists, no records of which appear to have survived the intervening years. We know this, so why have you sent for us? We know this, so why have you sent for us? Have you learned aught of value or not? Patience, good sir. One must introduce the subject before launching into specifics. From what we understand, travel between worlds is accomplished by passing through the nebulous rift which exists between them. Picture, if you will, the moment you were first called to the first. You touched a focus of some kind to help the Exarch pinpoint your location. His summoning spell then channeled the energies of the Crystal Tower to begin your journey to his world. Magics tore a hole in the world, separating source and shard, and cast you into the intervening nothingness. In that place, the laws of nature hold no sway. Yet even through this realm of temporal and spatial instability, you were borne safely to your destination in the first. The feat that guided you across such an unimaginable distance, both physical and metaphorical, was nothing short of a miracle. Then, what of the many void send found in the source? Who guides them here and how? An excellent question. That there are several methods by which the Void's denizens might intrude upon our world. The rituals of summoning are the most typical. For example, let's consider the gargoyle, a creature of middling power. To call upon such an entity, the prospective summoner must force open a void gate. The portal lasts but a moment and is relatively small, allowing only an imp or other lesser beings to squeeze through with their physical bodies intact. One more powerful gargoyle, however, is too large for that. Creating a gate big enough for him would require vast amounts of energy, far beyond the reserves of only one mortal practitioner. Instead, it is far more common to bring over only the entity's soul. We had a taste of that ourselves when a certain exarch dragged us to the first. And just as our bodies remained in our world, the Void Send's physical form is left behind in the 13th. Once at its destination, the summoned soul is granted a temporary shell to inhabit. In the gargoyle's case, a stone effigy has proven a suitable vessel. feel like this is a how it's made, but with gargoyles. Next, the gargoyles are turned into stone, placed in stone vessels. Wait, you said that the voice end must be called here deliberately by someone in the source, reeled in like a fisherman with his catch. Exactly. For a being to navigate the chaos of the rift without form or with or without form, there must be a guiding agent on the other side. When the hordes poured forth from Alleg's great gate, it was the technologists who drew them through. Though to my knowledge, planar fissures are, in essence, natural passages between our world and the void, which require no guidance to traverse. I'm just gonna bite this bit of nail off. Why is it only the boundary between the source and the 13th so fragile? So much so that it often tears of its own accord. I believe solving that mystery is key to understanding travel between the source and its reflections. And how exactly do you intend to get your answers? No, the danger's too great. Perhaps, but what some call danger, others think of as adventure. Well, you're not listening to my tale. Never mind that the means to expand the gate has been lost to the ages. Even though could you force the portal wide enough, you would be greeted by an army of murderous horrors the instant you stepped inside. I assured you I was most attentive, and I agree that to go alone would be certain death. But if I were to bring along one who has already braved the 13th and humbled the cloud of darkness, well, I imagine my chances would be much improved. So much for taking it easy. Since when were you on for the quiet life? That's very true. Once again, I put my life in your ever-reliable hands. That said, as much as I would like to march straight back to the Void Gate, there is the small matter of being unable to open it without the Satrap's personal authority. As I've said before, I will grant you and yours any boon you choose to name, provided it does not endanger my people. You have my word that we will take every precaution. Not a single void send will be allowed to threaten the Radzatan, assuming we manage to expand the portal in the first place. You have a plan. Actually, I'd hoped that you might help us with that. I presume the alchemists you retained supplied you with some explanation of their methodology. That they did. House Daimir was overseeing the project. Demir. Yes, the family is associated with the great work. I did not fully comprehend the theory, but this research began with a void send which had slipped through the fissure. After a thorough examination, they created an arcane simulacrum possessed of similar qualities, a man-made void send, if you will. It was apparently indispensable in their efforts to enlarge the gate. A man-made void send. Yes, being great admirers of the Archons, House Daimir submitted detailed notes to Charlene's official committee. They expected praise and accolades for their simulacrum, and were thus devastated to be informed that their work had been classified as prohibited material. If that's true, then those notes might still be stored in the Forbidden Archive somewhere. Not Google, of course, since that library had yet to be built, which leaves us with Graha's favourite place to sneak around. Indeed, Nunamon's restricted stacks may very well hold a copy. In which case, I say we head directly for Old Charlian. Old Charlian. Good old Charlian. Unless you anticipate needing to help reaching those high shelves, I see myself being of little use. Go on ahead. I still need to find Morale and tell him about the Kazal Foundation. Oh, good for you, Estinian. Let's be on our way as well. They are resolved to avoid venture into the void. Do I sit idly by? Okay, he has nothing to say to us. We need to go to other Old Charlian. If we are to enter Nunamon's restricted archives with a minimum of fuss, then we must secure the permission of the forum. Oh, I forgot. My chat box is being visible. Now where did I put that picture of Graha? Sorry guys, but that's going to have to sit there because I'm not having you looking at my friend. First, however, we shall enlist the cooperation of a member to broach the matter on our behalf. Who do you think might be inclined to assist us? No one springs to mind? What of Scholar Monteshane? He did come to Graha's defence during the inquiry, after all. 'Tis settled. Let's head to Phenomenon and see if he is willing to help us once more. Oh, yes. This is the first time Strolla's been following us. What does she say? If I was pressed to name our allies in the forum, Scholar Monteshane would certainly be at the top of the list. Hopefully he agrees to aid us in our request. I apprenticed to Master Matoya at the age of 7, and laboured under her tutelage for a full decade. I never had the chance to attend the studium, neither did Thancred as I recall. Soon after Master Luiso took him in off the streets, he was put in the care of another Archon. He was a rigorous and practical education. His was a rigorous and practical education in the arts of espionage and survival. I sometimes wonder what my life might have been like had I pursued studies here instead. Should I wonder as well? Oh, never mind me. It was just idle thought. Tea at the last stand after lectures. Oh, that does sound lovely. Afternoons with friends spent sipping tea and debating theories. Still, I wouldn't give up my time with Master Matoya for the world. The dank cave I studied in was about as far from the bright, airy halls of academia as one could get. But it was a wondrous magical childhood nonetheless. Good for you, Stella. I'm just gonna, don't mind me. Just need to call in my me old retainers. Actually, Faye, no, it's not Faye that takes care of my other. It's actually Fastiel. This is actually taking a rather big hit. Should have hit the millions soon. Thank you for waiting, Stella. Ah, visitors, and quite esteemed ones at that. What may I do for you? Pray the intrusion, Scholark. But we were hoping you might help us secure permission to enter Numenon's restricted archives. Oh, no furtive forays into the stacks this time, eh? I applaud this newfound sense of propriety. Yet, in all this wide world of comparative serenity, what compels you to disturb a vault of forbidden wisdom? Fascinating. I had no idea a technique existed. Such a technique existed. I would have been surprised if you had. If my assumption is correct, the research left behind by the House Dalmir has laid dormant in Arshalian's archives for many centuries. And if you unearth this research, what then? Surely you don't intend to cross over into the void. That is, in fact, precisely what we intend. To what end, pray tell? To develop a method of traversing the rift, for one, that I might keep my word to a distant friend. Sentiment aside, I have journeyed to the end of the universe, the end of existence. I have heard, felt, and thought endlessly about the truth of our world and the echo of our future. I like the reference to the hear, think, feel. And yet, I want to understand everything, to unravel it all down to the very last secret. What scholar worthy of the name wouldn't force open a void gate or two if grand revelation was the promised reward? Haha, marvelous! An audacious proposal worthy of Master Matoya herself. And after hearing the whys and wherefores, I for one do not believe you would use the knowledge for ill. I see no reason not to present your request to the forums for the forum's consideration. Although your petition would be better received if you had the support of another well-placed acquaintance. Why, Master Fortunal, of course. He can hardly ignore an earnest request from his dear children's most treasured comrades. I was hesitant to approach him directly, but there is no denying that having Master Fortunal on our side would tip the balance in our favour. Very well, we will pay a visit to the Lavea estate and plead our cause. One last thing before you go. I would consider it a personal favour if you might share with me the discoveries you make in the void. My appetite for knowledge is every bit as insatiable as yours, I'd wager. So if you could see your way to indulging an old man's curiosity? Of course, Scholark. We'll be sure to pass on any revelations. The forum can be a cantankerous beast. One needs a persuasive voice to get it moving in the desired direction. Monteshen seems optimistic, but I doubt convincing Fortuno to champion our cause will be as simple as showing him up on his doorstep. I don't think I can use the Ethernet for this without disrupting the follow bit. So we're just going to take a few. Is it raining? We're going to take a few shortcuts. I'm sure Ashtar won't mind. It's the forum, isn't it? It's the rostra. I really like the music in Sharlayan. Mr. Spachaka, Mr. Stoller, how may I be of service? We've come to speak with Master Fortunal. Is he home by any chance? Yes, the Master is in the residence. I shall inform him that he has guests. Well, Ameliance would invite you inside for tea, but I assume this is not a social visit. You have some important some matter of import to discuss. Then pray proceed. You have my full attention. Yeah, probably best for Ishtar to take this one. Oh no, I'm taking it as well. Well, I suppose I should praise you for following the proper protocol this time around. Scholar Monteshen expressed much the same sentiment, I assure you. We'll not attempt to circumvent the forum's authority again, unless it is absolutely necessary, of course. Of course. You do understand that the restricted archives are restricted for a good reason, yes? If no pressing need exists, then why risk the consequences of employing this forbidden knowledge? For a brother who misses his sister, she was his guardian and his friend, a selfless hero who crossed the rift between worlds to save her homeland from horror and suffering. But the brother has given up on thoughts of reunion. He spends his efforts elsewhere, watching over a people yet healing from the flames of the final days, loyal to his duty while betraying the longing in his heart. 'Tis no vital mission, perhaps, reuniting these siblings, but it feels a worthy cause to pursue, all the same. As one who feared losing her own loved ones and spent years in research to prevent it, surely you appreciate how painful such a separation must be. Reflections are still very much a mystery to us. Offering to share your experiences in the first should constitute a fair exchange for our cooperation. Gotta clean my glasses. Do not celebrate just yet. The forum must still be convinced. I will add your request to the list of today's deliberations and deliver the decision to you at the Baldesian Annex. The matter is out of our hands. All that remains is to return to the Annex and await word of the forum's decision. Ooh. Someone who likes Basile. Oh, here we are. So, what did the forum decide? To put it bluntly, Master Matoya has burnt some bridges here in Charlian and salted the earth for good measure. When it became clear that a student was the petitioner in question, well, no few members voiced their discontent. Then the chamber was reminded, in no uncertain terms, I might add, of the incredible debt we owe to you and your companions. That served to silence the grumbles and stiffen a few spines. And it was agreed that allowing you entry to the archives was the least we could do in return. Hey, thank you, Ishtlam. I'm not promising to be as good as theirs, but I hope that you'll enjoy your time with me. That is wonderful news. Thank you both for speaking on our behalf. Yes, well, as I'm sure you're aware, this permission was not extended lightly. Forbidden knowledge is to be treated with the utmost care, and there will be repercussions if it is not. I wish you well in your endeavour, and I bid you good day. Ever the same, that one. Uncompromising, aye, but that very stoicism is exactly what Charlian needed to guide it through not one, but 2 exoduses. If If I were but 5 years younger, I'd cast aside my lecture and join you on your adventures in a heartbeat. I'm sure you would. That went rather well, I think. As a child, I dreamed up any number of schemes for getting my hands on those forbidden tomes, and now I can simply walk in through the door. Our focus will be on finding House Damir's research notes, of course, but the thought of so much knowledge at my disposal has me feeling a little giddy. I'd like to set out as soon as you're ready. Well, I'm just going to talk to this guy and then, yep. This recommended reading, restricted reading. You'll be heading directly to the archives from here, I presume. You presume correctly. Then you'll want to speak with the index page when you arrive. It's been instructed to grant you access to the restriction section. Excellent. Once again, we thank you for all your help. Oh, it was a pleasure, believe me. May you find the knowledge you seek. Shall we? Oh, we shall. Yes, I know, go away. Hang on, where are we going? Oh, over there. No special events. We can't even cut across there because there's a cliff. Looks like we're going up here and then around. If you're looking for raiders, then I might not be the person you're needing because I do raid, but not very often. I'm planning on doing some raids with some more extreme content, but it's not my main focus at the moment. I just want to finish the story at the moment. To think the set of instructions I laughingly imagined may actually exist. But yarms away from where you found me napping. If I'd known of Alzadan's third's exploits sooner, I could well have saved myself days of research. Even a children's book might have pointed me in the right direction. To achieve the impossible, one must needs be flexible of mind and look beyond conventional wisdom. A lesson I had already learned, but clearly not taken to heart. Oh. Archon Stoller and guest identified. Do you wish to proceed to the restricted archives? Follow me if you would watch your step. Please take note that the use of naked flames is discouraged. Oh, look at you. Oh, so many books. I like these bookshelves. If House Damir's notes are to be found anywhere, it will be here. Let's begin. Wow, that was a very short, I think. So many books I've yet to read. Yes, we're here for one specific volume. You needn't remind me. Untitled Journal. Oh, okay, there's a cast time for this. Today, in a world not my own, I met the most beautiful void-born creature. She was so unlike her ravenous brethren, eyes blazing not with hunger, but trembling, like a candle's flame, threatening to flicker out at any moment. I wonder if she is even the proper word. Such distinctions seem inconsequential, insignificant even. All that matters is the love that I feel for the exquisite, transcendent being. Though you are tempted to read more, this does not seem to be the volume you are seeking. I am tempted to read more. Wait, you've got tome. Definitely want to read more of that. Come back here later. In the year 1564 of the 6th Astral Era, The Amal just summoned Ifrit with their patron god. Accounts describe the being as a gigantic, lizard-like being with a potent command of fire-aspected magics. If we consider that primal summoning is an act fueled by faith and prayer, it is unsurprising, if not expected, that the resulting deiform entity should manifest the appearance and powers with which it is attributed by its worshippers. What, then, might emerge from the aether should one believe in an almighty omniscience attempt the same... Should one who believes in an almighty omniscience attempt the same ritual? Would the scholar himself grace us with his presence? Some other embodiment of divine sagacity? Could this man-made god be all-knowing? And if it were, whence would such knowledge arise? I myself have many questions concerning the nature of the ancient world. With no spell to transport me back to the days of old, could I instead summon a being of encyclopedic wisdom of every age? Yet with no means to verify its pronouncements, how could one be certain they were true? Though your mind spins with the possibilities discussed therein, this does not seem to be the volume you are seeking. Leather-bound log. The following pages details an advanced method for manipulating rift-spanning apertures as devised by Nuhashan, the 9th Patriarch of House Daemir. We present these research notes to the faculty of Charlium's Studium as both a token of our friendship and expression of our boundless admiration. You appear to have located the forbidden tome you seek. You surely will need to make the final confirmation. Oh. I hope I haven't missed any of those because they were always interesting. Have something you'd like to show me, do you? My apologies, I flipped open but a single book and was completely absorbed by its contents. A forbidden research log detailing an advanced method for manipulating rift-spanning apertures as devised by Nisham, the 9th Patriarch of House Daemir. Well done, Checker. I think you may have found our prize. Yes, the Aether signature is unmistakable. I felt the traces of House Daemir's resonance as many times at the great work. Time to see what all the fuss was about. Among ranks of the Void Send, there exists an entity with the power to call forth its brethren from beyond. The species is known as Atomos. However, is uniquely prodigious in this regard. From its distended maw, it can expel an endless procession of void-born creatures, a talent which has sorely tested the Radiant Host in its battle against these abominations. Surmising that the entity itself was acting as a void gate, we endeavoured to capture a small specimen and subsequently examine its physiological makeup or whatever it was. Our findings revealed that the Atomos had absorbed a plane of fissure into its own flesh, which it could expand at will into a functioning gate. Upon further analysis, we identified an ethereal wave pattern emitted during this process, a pattern we were able to emulate by passing crystal stored aether through a specifically designed prism. We proceeded to embed said prism into an arcane simulacrum, thus completing what we have dubbed our artificial Atomos. Sorry, I'm getting a bit dizzy. Should we go and eat something? How could I have been so blind to the possibilities? This species, not to mention its ability to summon Void Send, has been discussed among academics for years now. Just before the advent of the 7th Umbrella Calamity, we received reports of Atomos sightings from every corner of Elzea. Surely you've at least heard of the tales. And still, House Daemir went and built a mock Atmos of their very own. I'm not surprised the Archons consigned their work to the restricted archives. It was no easy task, but at least we've unearthed the volume we've been searching for. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tempted to stay longer, see what other forbidden titles might be lurking on these shelves. But that would be abusing the very special privilege we've been granted now, wouldn't it? Better not. Congratulations on locating the object of your search. Please move along. As much as I'd love to start crafting the Atomos, I'm afraid this is far outside my field of expertise. Fortunately, we know a Hannish alchemist who would be delighted to involve herself in our House Daemir project. Our business is concluded for the moment. Please pass on our regards to the forum. Your message will be conveyed. Should you wish to indulge in more forbidden literature, I will be here, patron mode disabled, security mode engaged. If anyone can help us, Nidhana can. I say we return to Thavnir and look for her in the great work. Luckily enough, oh no, the great work's a teleport point anyway. Shit. Never mind. It's going to cost me as much gold gil as I'm going to make to teleport here. The great work's over here. There's Nidhana. All these sallow, sleep-deprived faces, but their eyes still burn with fiery zeal. Some things never change. Ishtar tells me you've been pursuing a most fascinating study, and you want me to be part of it. I have no doubt you will be interested. This research log should speak for itself. Will it now? By the sisters, this is the mark of House Daemir. I never even knew such a work existed. If you should, it was suggested in Numenon's restricted archives after all. It was? But that means every word within is forbidden knowledge. A forbidden tome filled with forbidden research, and you put it right into my unsuspecting hand. I can hardly wait to read it. Alright, we're going to do the cinematic and I'm going to take a 5-minute break to eat something. To think that the Daemir were developing such marvellous techniques so long ago. How many innovations have been lost over the centuries, I wonder? Now that you've glanced over the notes, what say you to helping us build a new mock Atomos? I say yes, 1,000 times yes. Work on a Daemir project that has been that even the redoubtable scholars of Charlium trembling in their sandals. No alchemist of the great work could resist. You are a woman after my own heart. Oh, I suppose I should ask, what do you mean to do with this big-mouthed simulacrum once we've built it? So there's a secret void gate, and it's sealed in the ruins at the bottom of the bounty. Today is a day of revelations indeed. If the purpose of our man-made Atomos is to expand this hidden portal, then I will need to see it for myself, I think. Manipulating rift-spanning apertures is not the sort of thing you want to attempt without first taking into account every single factor. Then by all means, accompany us to the vault. I plan to lead us back there shortly, once we finish gathering the components I require. Shalion's markets provide the raw aquamarine and pure water crystals, but I might need help obtaining a small quantity of Australian-infused water. For such liquid, you need go no further than the font of Maya. The ascetics of old once favoured the place for their meditation, and the water which pools there now is known to enliven the flow of aether. That sounds perfect. If you would be so kind to fill a flask at the pool, I will petition Vitra to join us. The idea I have in mind won't amount to much without his authority to command the Void Gate. Shall we be about it then? We will meet here again anon. Right, I'm just going to go... Let me stick Stoller inside somewhere. Oh, hello Argos. I'm just going to stick her in here for a minute. And then we're going to take a quick break. Okay, we are back. Just gonna... I don't know what's happening outside, but someone's been shouting out for ages. Astrally dense pocket. Oh, there we go. Oh shit, sorry Pachaka. Didn't Didn't mean to send you for a swim. The boy married was glad to hear of the news of the Foundation. It means a new life for him and his sister. Oh, I forgot to mention, the Font of Maya attracts aggressive wildlife. You should watch out for them when you go the next time. My apologies. Alkonya requested I join you, but of her plans she offered scant details. Do you have that flask for me? Flask filled with astray-infused water scooped from a strangely specific point in the depths of the Font of Maya. Yes, this should suffice. Thank you, Pachaka. Get some more spell speed. Look who I came across. Estinian seemed in need of a diversion, and we, in turn, may have need of his lance. Right then, now that our little party is assembled, let us make our way to the ruins. Will we have need of Matsia's boat again? Not this time. Once Yashtala informed me of our destination, I arranged for a vessel to be made ready at Akyali. Your Excellency is ever the gracious host. Shall we? I forget where this is. I should probably finish these. Maybe we'll do them later. It is likely not needed with Vitra long, but I held onto the map against the chance we might return. I held onto the map against the chance we might return to the ruins. Onto the boat, if you please. We can chat on our way there. You need not keep your weapons close at hand. The Guardians will not attack if I am present, so I pray you leave them be. No, it's alright. We won't destroy them this time. All this time, I thought the tales of Alzadan's horde were no more than drunken sailors' fancies. The ship is yours to command. Oh, thanks. We set sail at once. Oh my, this is exciting. Alzadal's legacy. To see the truth of the legend with mine own eyes. All aboard for the treasure vault. It's weird. Yeah, Weaver's warning. He laid waste to them ere I could utter a single word. I thought we cleared this place of constructs last time we came through. It would seem a few stragglers remained. Poor Vitra. He really should have spoken with Estinian before we left. I should have think what we've cost them in terms of construct materials. For fuck's sake, Estinian. Every time. You just... keep your lance to yourself. The ruins alone were impressive enough, but I never dreamed of such a treasure lay hidden beneath the bounty. It might have been helpful to know this device existed, Your Excellency. My apologies. The gate was a secret I shared with none but my closest advisors. I feared what might happen should those with ill intentions learn of its existence. What is it you're doing now? There is something I wish to verify. The NOAA reports claim that a short stint into the void carried risk of etheric imbalance. Should one suffer an injury, however, or if one's expedition drags on longer than intended, that risk becomes significantly greater. Grahatia theorized that a warding scale would confer protection from the void's corrupting influence, but I would prefer to test that hypothesis before we set forth foot in the 13th ourselves. So this is an experiment of yours? Yes, an experiment. Tell me, how would you go about testing the efficacy of a warding scale? Say no. Maybe send a familiar. Might as well go myself. Say nothing and look meaningfully at Estinian. What? Why are you looking at me like that? Surely you do not expect me to wriggle through that tiny portal. We needn't attempt something so drastic. A small familiar should serve well enough. Now, a lowly imp can navigate the fish. Now, a lowly imp can navigate fissure no matter how narrow. Which means an arcane entity of similar stature should be able to manage the same. Oh, is this... I haven't wanted it to come to this, but no other familiar will do. Familiars will do, I'm afraid. I mislike the sound of that. What manner of fiend does she mean to summon? From the ocean's rise and cloud-baked form, from mountain spring and rainfall storm, from the river flow and life be born. I'm not going to do the next bit because... Come on. There's got to be a better way to... Ready your arms. I fear she's been possessed. Oh, come on now. That was adorable. Time to play. Oh, they are adorable. They're not my first choice. These familiars I conceived as a child have the best chance of fitting through the gate. I only wish my younger self had considered a more dignified ending to the creation ritual. In any case, these two should serve as well. This one will bear a warding scale. When they return from the 13th, we can observe how the talisman, or absence thereof, has affected the progress of the Void's corruption. I would impose upon you to open the gate, Your Excellency. Yes, of course. We should also be wary of Void Send slipping through while we conduct our experiment. Estinian, you are to keep Miss Midhana safe from harm. As you say. You have best be on your guard as well. Froth and foam. Oh, are you volunteering to join the Nixies? I could shrink you down, you know. Let's begin, shall we? Nixies, into the void. Sister, save me. I will never see Y'shtola the same way before. The same way as before. Yes, froth and foam indeed. I struggle to picture Y'shtola as a little girl. Easy to believe she sprang fully formed from one of Master Mortoya's cauldrons. We need to wait for a time to ensure meaningful results. Be patient and keep watch for intruders. Every time I come down here, it reminds me of that dark portal above the Crystal Tower, and the final lash of Ajara's tail as she plunged into the void. Well, that's a bit upsetting. I think we've waited long enough. Mixies, return to my side. Water, water. Well, that's a bit upsetting. Thank you, little one. You did well. The poor thing. Its essence has been irrevocably warped. Open. Open. Open! We're out of time. I must reseal the void gate. Something's gone wrong. Oh, they're coming through. In the name of Alzadar III, I bar this door until the void. Well, that was a sharp lesson in the dangers of void gates. What of our experiment? I'd say the results speak for themselves. The unprotected Nixie has suffered extensive etheric corruption. As Natana observed, it's on its way to becoming a void send. The one merged with the talisman, however, appears unaffected. I sense no changes to its equilibrium. Rest now, little ones. Graha's theory was correct, then. So it would seem. But while our second familiar was untouched by void energies, the talisman itself shows signs of degradation. It was, of course, originally designed to shield the soul from primal tempering. It stands to reason that the etheric corruption of a different sort would affect it differently. We may need to modify the warding scales designed to account for the 13th's uniquely unstable ether. You've said much of the void's instability, but if my imagination fails me, what manner of place is this broken world? My apologies. I forget not all of us spend our days sequestered in dusty archives. The 13th is a reflection of the source that was drowned in a flood of darkness. In Emmett Selk's own words, this tragedy was a result of the Ashtons' attempt to force rejoining. They erred in their haste and made of that world a useless void. And what of your own experience? Will you tell us what you observed during Noah's expedition? I can picture it now. The sunless, Stygian expanse, invested with legions of aether-starved monstrosities, a void in every sense of the word. What you've described in such lurid detail is exactly why I hesitate to encourage you. Worry not, great Ritra. Our journey into the 13th is but the first leg of a longer voyage. A voyage that shall lead us to the other reflections, to new mysteries and discoveries, and I mean to be there for every step of the way. But first I must focus on the refining the warding talisman. Then I can begin work on constructing an artificial Atomos. Or I could if I had the relevant manuals to hand. Might I be so bold as to request access to the Satrap's family archives? Your Excellency? Oh, yes, that can be arranged. I will speak to my officials upon our return. We'll see you back in the city then. Okay. Seeing the Void's terrors firsthand was an experience, but I doubt fear of such creatures is the root of Vitra's hesitation. Once Nidhana succeeds in replicating the Mokatomos, this door into the 13th will be ours to open. Will you be crossing the threshold alongside us? I realise this is more my endeavour than yours. To be honest, I've no interest in visiting the Void myself. Might we discuss this later? There is something I must do first. Why does everyone insist on being so secretive? I at least had a good reason for not wanting to explain my Nixie ritual. Shall we proceed to the other preparations then? As we saw, the warding scale can be effective at protecting the bearer from other sources of etheric corruption. Nevertheless, the talisman's durability will need to be improved if it is to withstand the Void's influence for a prolonged period of time. And I think that is a problem we can address without involving the brilliant but busy alchemists who created it. Who do we know who excels at this kind of structural augmentation? Garland Ironworks. An excellent suggestion. As I recall, Sid himself is no stranger to the Void and its volatile energies. With his experienced hand at the helm, I have every confidence that the Ironworks can strengthen the warding scale. Come, let's visit their operation in Ralgul's Reach and commission their best and brightest. on the... Oh, shit. Yushtola. Perhaps this young man can locate Sid for us. Chaka, what brings you to the Ironworks? We have a commission for you and your president, actually. He's assuming he's available? Master Sid, certainly. I'll see if he has a moment free. A pleasure as always. I hear you have a job for us. Heading into the void to find a lost dragon. That sounds almost pedestrian compared to your last adventure. Honestly, I don't know if I could say anything... I don't know if you could say anything that would surprise me after Meteion and that bloody mess. Alright, let's take a look at this talisman of yours. You said there were signs of degradation. It would seem some manner of corrosion has set in around a scratch in its surface, much as the void's corruption seeped into Nero through his wounds. In which case, our best bet might maybe to simply prevent the scale from being damaged in the first place. And how might we achieve that? We have a coating agent for strengthening trinkets and the like, but I'd be wary of applying any compound which might upset the scale's delicate alchemical balance. Far safer to dress it in armour. We'll construct a protective casing, one using metal alloys with high ethereal conductivity, so as to not impede with the talisman's primary function. A suit of armour, as you said. Nero's compiled data on the 13th, so I'll have him pitch in with the design just to be sure. If only it weren't such an ordeal to convince him to follow our safety protocols. I swear I've never had such a reckless employee. In any case, we may need some time to untangle the particulars. Understandable. We know how busy your schedule is, and the final result will doubtless be worth the wait. Huh. The hard part will be ducking Jesse in a constant barrage of demands while we sneak about doing the fun stuff. We'll see if we can do. We'll see what we can do. I think we can leave the rest in Sid's capable hands. Let's return to the great work and see how Nidhan is getting on with the mock Atomos. The insatiable curiosity of our alchemists has ever amazed me, although I largely left them to their own devices since we opened the gate together. I hope Nidhana has good news for us. Ah, Y'shtola, the adjustments are going well, I hope. It is a lengthy process, but the end is in sight, yes. That's wonderful news. I myself had some good fortune searching through the satrap's personal records. What I found was a transaction log dated about around the same period as when Alzadar's legacy was built. It included a purchase list of highly exclusive alchemical components, and I knew I'd discovered the key to making the artificial Atomos. I then visited the High Crucible to commission the materials. After I'd explained my requirements, I was beset by volunteers insisting I allowed them to help with the entire project. The usual reaction to someone forcing open a void gate is to run for the hills. Hanish academics certainly are a different breed. The alchemists of old were cut from a similar cloth. The unknown held no fear for them. Indeed, they were ever eager to seek new knowledge, regardless of the danger. And were you not also fearless, heedless even in your determination? My sire entered his dormancy before I was hatched, and so it was Azdaja who kept my egg warm and safe. It created a bond between us. Even long after I learned to fend for myself, I rarely strayed from her side. She was my guardian, my sister, my dear companion, and not a single day passes that I do not mourn her absence. No matter how deep the darkness, I would not surrender my search. I promised myself the time would come when we would once more take to the skies together. But I am satrap now. The Radiant Host is here to serve, Your Excellency. Nabadine, what's this about? Sarastinian told us of your predicament. For centuries you have protected Radzatan, never showing your true self, hiding behind a curtain, and living only in service to the people. Your dedication meant more to us than your deceit, and so did we accept you as our rightful ruler. After all that you have sacrificed for this nation, did you imagine we would begrudge you your heart's desire? We survived the final days. We are a strong and proud people. We, the Radiant Host, will keep Thavnir safe in your absence. I am grateful for your loyalty and for your encouragement, and yet... Now you listen to me, Vashan. You're wearing that face after all. As I've told you before, you are a little brother to us all. And if you are family, then so too is your sister. We are there for you if you need us. But do not ask us to sit by and watch while you abandon a sibling you have ached to rescue for millennia. We will succeed in opening the way. It is only a matter of time. All you need to do is prepare to step through to the other side. Your Excellency, I wanted to thank you for building the orphanage. It means so much that my sister and I will have a place to stay together, safe and happy. And I hope that you and your sister can be together too. Oh, Estinian is a good guy. To protect them as well. Or to protect them well, you must take heart. Would you wallow in uncertainty forget forever? You're saying I should seize this chance? Take heart and protect them well. Such were the words I once said to you, and here I stand, failing to live up to them. If my heart is torn, I am fit to protect neither Adzjada nor Radzatan. My people, I have come to a decision. Vashan will depart Thavnir for a time. My dragon self will remain in the palace, but only to conduct the satrap's most essential duties. While I am focused on controlling this vessel, there may be matters that escape my attention. I rely on you, my trusted friends, to watch over one another until I return. Take care and fair fortune, little brother. Many tears would be shed should you come to harm. I would not dare make you cry. Alright, so I'm gonna finish this mission and we're gonna call it here. I need to ease back into this. It's already been 2 hours. We'll have the Atmos built before you know it. When a project like this comes along, we'll give it our full and undivided attention. Sleep? Puh, who needs it? Oh, that reminds me. I really should finish that other project I was working on for His Excellency. What? Someone needed to give the boy a good talking to. You don't suppose I'll be reprimanded, did you? I did just yell at the satrap. I will not squander this chance you've given me. I will find Asjala. Where's Estinian? Let me give him a hug. Convincing others to follow their heart is not my forte. I would have gladly gladly let our more philosophical comrades take the lead had I been there. Had they have been here. You surprised me, Estinian. Oh, maybe not here. For a lone wolf, you've shown an unusual degree of, shall we say, involvement in helping Vitra reach its conclusion. Just for the greater good, the worm's thundering sighs were keeping the citizens awake at night, and had travellers believing the past racked by some unnatural storm. What of your own answer, then? You seem disinclined to venture into the void. When I was one with Nidhogg, his vengeful thoughts were my thoughts, his endless rage my rage, and the soul-chilling grief he nursed for Ratatoska's death. I would not wish such agony upon a foe, let alone a friend and ally. If there is a chance we can spare Vitra the pain, then I will follow you. Any other former scions we should call on? I mean, I would rather not bother our comrades with aught less than a dire threat to the star. We four should be sufficient for our cause. Now on to the specifics. Unlike the first, where the flood of light was halted by before its devastation was complete, the 13th has been utterly subsumed by darkness. My plan, as such, is to explore the void in stages, withdrawing to safety after each brief foray. It would be more convenient had we some manner of base nearer the gate itself. One of the palace chambers should serve. Come, let's reconvene outside Megaduta. I wonder what people are running at the moment. Yes, Fodos was the shore one. Crown of the Immaculate. I think Crown of the Immaculate's yeah, it's Innocence. That's a good fun fight. Oh, we don't need to. We can just TP Megaduta. Doot, doot, doot. I was put up in a guest room in the palace whilst I waited my audience with Vitra. I expect we'll be given the use of something similar. Conducting our expedition out of Rising Stones would raise just as many questions as recruiting so many Talons. At least here in Razatown we might be expected to appear road weary from our local explorations. And so we will require suitable accommodations. Might we make something available for our guests? All the chambers are presently hosting the great mounds of treasure we carried out of the vault. Once the Foundation's activities begin in earnest, however, we can distribute the trove and make room for a room or two ready for habitation. Good. Please inform me when you've completed the arrangements. As you heard, we'll have you settled in Megaduta in due time. As ever, you are most gracious, Your Excellency. You risk yourselves to aid me in my search for Asdaja. Providing comfortable quarters is the least I can do. I only wish we knew more about our destination. The gods only know how long our explorations might take, or what chances of success they might possibly be. Succeed or fail, I am grateful to you for convincing me to make the attempt. On that note, I will return to the great work and lend what help I can to Nidhana. If you've preparations to make ere we venture into the 13th, now is the time. All I need is my armor and my lance. Perhaps I'll train with the Radiant Host to pass the time before we depart. You know what this means to me, Chaka, but my purpose need not consume you as well. We're headed to another world. Find what joy you can in the experience, for you are a traveller, an adventurer at heart. This I know. So the direct hit. What's that one? Determination. Meanwhile, in the 13th, I mean, that looks a lot like Xenos. I doubt it is, but it looks an awful lot like him. Oh, definitely not Xenos. And thus I am returned. Or maybe it is Xenos. To this world bereft of saviors. Do I get a title for that? I get a sec. Well, that's going to about conclude today's stream, I think. I hope you enjoyed coming. I don't know if anyone's still here, but anyone watching, I'm really happy you came, and I hope to see you again next time. Goodbye.